Maybe I
I
do.
can take a video for you.
It's recording right now.
It's recording now. Okay.
Yeah,
Just
it's
go,
just
go.
look, just turn it to where I am.
Okay, yeah.
There's nothing you have to do.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Young now is going to feed the animal now. He's going to feed the elephant now.
There's another one behind you.
Let's go and see. Yeah.
What crazy is this? Wow.
It's actually about 1,500 yen
Yeah.
per person, so it's
Yeah.
quite expensive. You get a very good lunch.
If you don't end up being the one.
Yes, Mr. Young.
Tea and stuff. Show this.
He wants to finish this bucket.
There's something else.
Yeah.
Ukatula.
Yeah, I know. I've been there.
Yeah, we're walking around. Okay, I just like to share with other people like me.
Yeah, exactly. I've been there alone. Most of the time when I'm
Nice food for elephant. Let me see.
most
Show them, show them, show them.
of my friends
Yeah.
work there.
That's good.
They're very intelligent monkeys there. They know even how to open the zips. Which is 4 molars. That's 1 big molar, 2, 3, 4. It's a set. So there'll be 2 up, 2 down. How many times do you replace our teeth?
Well, twice. We've got 2 sets.
Once.
So-
Replace once. Because twice that time when you take out the teeth, put aside the glass, the next morning put them back. So replace one. So elephant they replace 5 times. But the first set they're born with, age of 1 and up to 2 years, they get another set. So from this set up to this one, these are replacements. And the molars that are formed at the back, they're slowly pushed forward. So when they reach front, they usually break apart. They're swallowed or they just fall out from the mouth. By age of 40 to 45, and so they get the last one. That last is said there's no replacement, so it's going to use the until it's totally worn out. Like those 2 right there. They're starting to worn out. So when it's totally worn out, they'll be struggling to chew their food effectively, so they end up dying of malnutrition, combination of old age. So they just go human age, 60 to 70 in the wild. But in a captivity, they can live longer. For example, like the one in Angola, lived up to 85 years. Was in a captivity, they try by all means to give them salty food so they can survive. But in the wild, they just go to a swampy area where they can get salty food, but they usually die. Then we claim it as a graveyard of the elephant. And we also use their molars to estimate the age, not the tusk. Although tusk, it's part of their teeth. Tusk, they're inside the teeth. But there are some of the earlys that are born without the tusk. And the tusk can break at any time. So if you look at the body, every set is bigger than the other. That's why we use the molars. The tusk, just like our fingernails, you can cut your fingernails with a nail cutter, you don't feel pain. But if you take a hammer or a stick or something, then you disturb those buried alive. You feel pain. You can even go to the doctor. Same thing with the tusk. If it breaks inside the pulp cavity, it will cause infection. It will affect their eyes. So these are eye sockets. But if, let me show you inside before we go any further. You see it there?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if it breaks inside the pulp cavity, it will cause infection, it will affect their eyes. But if it breaks outside, person who buried alive can keep growing. But they use it for digging, debarking trees, defending themselves in the fighting, and for lifting heavy objects. You know, humans have got left and right-handed. Elephants you also have left and right-handed. Like the boy that we fed, Vuso. Vuso have got a short tusk on the left side and a long tusk on the right side. It's a lefty hand. They also favor to use one side of their tusk. So the one that is short is the one that they use more. They were a poor eyesight. You can see up to 80 to 100 meters. Further from that, they'll be relying on hearing, like sense of smell. So these are eye socket, these are ear socket. For these ear cells, they're over this back party. Let's use the other bone. They're upward. Then down there's brain. So the ear cells, they works to cool down the brain and to make the skull light. And there's a rumbling sound that they produce. That rumbling sound is amplified in the air cells. And when they're swimming in water for buoyancy. So that's how it works. Their brain, it weighs up to 4.5 to 5 kilograms. The growth and development of the brain just similar to us humans. So they've got a good memory. And they're very intelligent animals. Like those 4 that you saw there. They are trained using English. But the trainers, they also have their own languages that they speak. So there's some of the conversations that we do every day close to them. They also pick those conversations. So they're very intelligent animals. And they're not aggressive. Although they're big, they're not aggressive animals. They can't just come and push you or kick you. They give you a warning. They've got body language. You can see them shaking their head very fast, they're flapping the ears. They give you a boundary. Stay away from me. And between their eye and the ear, both sides, both males and females, they've got a small hole here. You can't see that hole. We call it a temporal gland. The one that also shows the motion of them. Are they happy, excited? This is the muscle oostras. There's some different secretions that come. So they're big and gentle. Their heart weighs up to 28 kilograms. And heated blood is pumped from the heart to the back of the ears. When you are touching, you have to touch behind the ears. It's very soft. Behind those ears, that's where the arteries and veins, they are very close to the surface. So that's why you see them always flapping the ears to cool down the heated blood when they don't have sweaty glands. You are asking why they're dead, those elephants.
Yeah.
Get rid of mosquitoes and flies where their tail can't reach. They scoop sand. Direct sunburn, that skin it also cracks. Then parasite insects, they come, they lay eggs. So they always do muddy bath. Muddy bath is to cool down the body temperature and also to avoid the parasite insects to lay eggs. So that's why they're looking more brown. But elephants are not brown, they're grey. Those ones are more brown because of the type of the soil that we have that side. Just like us humans, when it's hot, do some sunscreen. So they put mud on them to protect the skin. Stomach, that's a small storage. A day they eat up to 250 to 350 kilograms. Water, they drink up to 150 to 200 liters. So those buckets, they're just like a snake. They eat a lot, but they only digest 44%, which means some of the food. They just come in cities and digest it. Their bladder can hold up to 10 to 11 liters. Kidney, just like a rugby ball size. Uterus, the gestation period is 22 months. And after birth, the baby weighs up to 90 kgs to 100 kgs. Get up to 80 centimeters to 1 meter height. Every 3 years to 4 years, they can have a baby. And the females, they continue to mate until they get up to the age of 50 years. Let's look at the trunk. The most important part. They use that trunk for so many things. It's 3 in 1. That's a hand, that's a nose, an extension of the upper lip. There's no bone structure inside that trunk. Just made of 6 pairs of muscles that are subdivided into more than 100,000 units of muscles. And there's also hair on the trunk that also adds a sense of touch. At the end of that trunk, there's 2 fingers, one up, one down. Those fingers can even pick a small stick, for example, like a stick of matches. They can pick it using the fingers. When they want to drink water, they suck water maximum 15 to 20 liters with the trunk on. Then they put it inside the mouth. Solid food, they also take with the trunk. Then they put inside the mouth. So nothing is going through that trunk. The primary function for the trunk is breathing. At the first hint of the danger, you see them raising the trunk. They'll be scenting, smelling where the danger coming from, where they've got a poor eyesight. There's some of the eels that born without a tusk. Doesn't mean they can eat the bark of the trees. They use that trunk to break the branch. They take that branch, they put across their mouth. So they'll be grinding with the molars. Doing mud bath, they use the trunk. You can even see the elephant smelling another elephant's dung with the trunk. After smelling, they take the smell, they blow it inside the mouth. Inside that mouth, there's 2 holes. Right? They take that smell, they blow it inside these 2 holes that are connected to Jacob's organ, vemeronasal organ. So they can know that this elephant is masked on oostras using the trunk. So they use it for so many things. Foot. They are walking on tiptoes. That's when they're walking, they don't make noise. They're big, but they don't make noise when they're walking. They're walking on tiptoes, they've got a fatty tissue, this heel. It works, for example, like shock absorbers. It also expand, it also contracts. In these 2 front foot, you're going to see that the shape is not the same with the back ones. We use their front foot to get the height. If you take one of the front foot, then you measure the circumference twice in the half, it will give you the height of the elephant. You don't get exactly, but approximately. Let's look right down at the bottom. From Mamatas, going back to Memotherium, we no longer have those ones. We just left with Elephas and Loxodonta. Elephas, these are Asian elephants. These two. Loxodonta, that's African elephant. Although in Africa, we have 2 species of elephants. The one that we saw there, they are called savannah. You know, when you go to Nice Nade, yeah, you find some of the smaller ones that are called the forest. So in Africa, we have savannah and the forest. But the savannah, they are bigger than forest, they're also bigger than Asian elephant. The only difference between savannah and forest is the height and the shape of the tusk. But when you are looking at Asian and African, there's so many things that are different. If you look at the molars, they are not the same. The ears, African elephants, they were the big ears that are 3 or 4 times bigger. Asian, they were smaller ones. At the end of that trunk, African elephant, there were 2 fingers, one up, one down. Asian, there were only one. The tusk, African elephants, both males and females, they were long tusks that you can see. Asian elephants, only the male, that have a long tusk that you can see. This is a male, this is a female. Female, they don't have a tusk. That's why it's easy about Asian elephants to tell which one's a male or female, but they just use the tusk. But just like humans, we were people from different countries, but we're all human beings. Same thing with the elephant. African and Asian elephants, they are all elephants, though there are some things that are different. So just like us. So these are the main things I want to share with you. So now we're heading in the forest. The handlers, they're going to bring 2 elephants, a boy, Temba, and a girl, Kumba, where you get to touch anywhere you want us to touch. They're going to introduce their names, elephants' names, ages. They're also going to ask the elephant to do some behavior and command. But those behaviors are natural. They usually do it even in the wild. But you just ask the elephant to do it in command. Is the guide or further explain about behavior, then you get to touch. After touching, you're going to walk with the same elephant, trunk in hand or hand in trunk. So make sure you grab all your belongings. Let's go.
So is that true that the elephant can kill by ants?
If too many ants enter that day,
Not one.
not one, you can't go there. The only thing what happened, let's say that ant, it goes more deep there.
Yeah.
The elephant, you kill by himself. Why? Because you'll be trying to take that ant out. Ne? So
Yeah.
you'll be using the trees. You see, eating with the trees. Then he ended up dying. So he killed by himself. Not by. But then mostly, just like your nose, something get inside your nose, you can sneeze. You know that. But when it's go more down there, it's gonna be a problem, you see. So about the elephant, they end up eating on the tree to take that thing out. So they end up killing by himself, not by branches for them. But every day we give them a chance where they can go out from those enclosures just for exercising, grab some small branches, then they come back. And this is not their permanent home. They are going back in the wild, but in a private, not a national park. Those areas, they don't know about the other animals. If you take them in a national park, they can be easily killed. So we're still looking for a private reserve, because here we don't do free feeding. They are going both males and females. When you get in the wild, if you see a family of elephants, only females that have got neat, close families. Male elephants, they don't have families. Because when they get up to teenager, they cause so many problems. They're just like us humans, boys are boys. So in the wild, they just kicked out from the family, they just live alone, or they can form a small bachelor's group. But this one, they're going in a private, so they're going both males and females. We don't have a specific time to keep that group. Once you get a place, then you move this elephant. Then you get other elephants. So we don't buy, we don't sell. We just help those who need to be helped. Then you look for a better place for them. So anytime they're going back in the home. Those 4, they sleep in the building. You're going to see the stables where they sleep. They sleep in the building for security reasons. Some of the times they break those enclosures. Especially the male ones, the teenagers. They break the enclosures, they go out. This is a farming area. They can go to our neighbors, cause so many problems. And this can be difficult for us to drive them back. So that's why they sleep in the building. They sleep standing, they sleep lie down. But in the wild, it's rare to see them lie down because it takes time for them to get up. They say the predator are coming. So they just look for a strong tree, they just lean on the tree. They only lie down when they feel that they're at a safe place. Like inside there, we lay a bed of grass, we put more food and water, so they'll be busy eating the food. In the morning, check. So be patient, they're coming.
So these haven't been here long. You say you rotate them. They go back into the.
They came in different times. Some they came 2010, 2008, 2005. Like Amarula came to 2011. So they came in different times in different places as well. They didn't come from the same place.
But they don't. So they don't come as babies.
No. They didn't come as big. When we started with 5. Then you end up having 12 elephants. But because of the space that we have here, we only take 5 at a time. So
Okay.
it's like no food, no friendship.
No friendship.
You can't touch without food.
Good morning.
So these are the handlers, the guys that money to train these elephants. So we're going to start with the Lavmo. Lavmo can start for us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Lavmo. This elephant is Temba. Temba means trust. He's 19 years old.
How old?
19.
19 years old. Weight 2,800 kilograms. He's a good boy. Temba, is it?
They usually shake their head, get rid of mosquitoes or flies, or creating a boundary to their opponents. So that's one of the body language. Remember, earlier we've been talking about the body language. So that's one of the body language. Thank you, Lavmo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Me?
Yes.
You can come inside.
I hope you're getting this close up.
Ist geiler.
You can give those guys. Go and give that guy. That guy. Pro Pringini.
Okay, veterans kwe. You know what to veterans mean? Yeah, so good. Go. Okay.
Next.